Here's Samsung's new plus-sized flagship phone, the Galaxy S25 Plus. So could this phone be the right fit for you? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our Galaxy S25 Plus review. The S25 Plus exists as a larger alternative to the regular S25. You get a bigger screen size and battery, and the phone could be more comfy for people with large hands. For this generation, Samsung has focused on software changes rather than hardware ones, but there are a few updates worth considering. The design has gotten a bit of a refinement. The S25 Plus is slightly thinner than last year's model, to the tune of 0.4mm, and it's a bit lighter too. The back is flat, and you have the frame made of the latest Armor aluminum. Both the front and back are protected by Gorilla Glass Victus too. It's too bad you don't get the tougher and less reflective Gorilla Armor glass here, which for now is exclusive only to the Ultra models. As ever, the S25 Plus has IP68 rated rust protection against dust and submersion in water. The S25 Plus's OLED display is the same as last year. It's 6.7 inches with a high QHD resolution and an adaptive 120Hz refresh rate. The high resolution means that this panel is extra sharp, and it's nice to have this large screen real estate. There's support for HDR10 Plus video too. Thanks to LTPO tech, the display's smooth 120Hz refresh rate is extra adaptive to save energy. When idling, it's able to dial down to 24Hz or even as low as 1Hz in certain situations. And when it comes to brightness, the S25 Plus is about the same as last year. We measured a maximum of over 760 nits with the manual slider, and this boosted to about 1450 nits in auto mode in bright conditions. The S25 Plus is a pair of stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos support. They have very good loudness, and the sound quality is very good too, but there could stand to be a bit more bass. You can wake up and unlock the S25 Plus with an ultrasonic under-display fingerprint reader, which is quite reliable and speedy. And you can get the S25 Plus with 256 or 512 gigs of storage on board, and that's not expandable through microSD card. The interface of the phone is Samsung's new One UI 7 based on Android 15. It brings a few refinements in the layout, but the major changes here come with an updated suite of AI-based features. If you'd like to dive into the specifics of those, we get into them in our Galaxy S25 review. Also, we'll be doing a dedicated video about One UI 7, and we'll drop a link when that's ready. Last year's S24 Plus came with a different chipset depending on the region, but the S25 Plus always comes with a specific one. It's called the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, a special variant of this year's top Qualcomm chip, which has higher clock speeds. In benchmarks, the S25 Plus does considerably better than last year's model. The scores are right up at the top of the charts. And when using the phone, it feels perfectly snappy and responsive, both in regular tasks and heavy gaming. When it comes to thermal management, the S25 Plus isn't too impressive, but this is typical for a high-powered flagship. In our prolonged stress tests, we saw significant thermal throttling to around half of the peak performance. Just like last year, the S25 Plus has a 4900 mAh battery. The battery life has clearly improved this time around on the Plus. The phone earned a very good active use score of 14 hours and 26 minutes in our tests. This year, you can fast charge the phone with the 3A cable that's included in the box. Last year's model needed 5A current, but again, there's no charger included. With a proper 45-watt adapter, we were able to charge the phone from 0 to 75% in half an hour, and a full charge took 59 minutes. Just the same as last year. There's also support for wireless charging, and the phone is Qi 2.1 ready, which means you get support for magnetic wireless charging accessories too. But there are no magnets inside the phone, so you need a case that has them, and the phone would only charge it up to 15 watts anyway. The cameras of the S-Series Plus models haven't changed for years now. On the back of the S25 Plus are a 50-megapixel main cam, a 10-megapixel 3x zoom, and a 12-megapixel ultrawide cam. There could be changes to the camera performance based on the new chipset though. Let's have a look. During the day, the photos are clean looking, with good detail, wide dynamic range, and colors which are punchy yet not over the top. However, when it comes to sharpness, the S25 Plus seems to be trailing behind competing camera phones. We may have praised these photos 2 or 3 years ago, but the industry has been moving at a rapid pace. At night, the phone can use automatic night mode processing, but in most cases the system will prefer the standard photo mode, unless it's really dark out. The regular nighttime photos have laid-back processing, with nice-looking colors and some left-behind noise. Highlights are preserved, but shadows aren't very bright. Forcing the night mode on cleans up the noise and boosts sharpness and contrast. The results are an improvement in certain scenes, despite an aggressive increase in micro-contrast. Daylight photos from the 3x telephoto cam match the main cam's processing in terms of colors and contrast. However, sharpness and fine detail leave more to be desired. The zoom camera seems to be struggling at night. The photos aren't the sharpest, and they're very noisy, with washed out colors. The night mode brings out a bit more detail, fixes the color saturation, and brightens up the shadows, but the end result is still far from ideal. In our Galaxy S25 review, we had some lens misalignment on the ultrawide cam out of the box, but there are no such issues here. The photos still aren't terribly sharp, but the dynamic range is surprisingly wide for this type of camera. The contrast is also solid, and colors are very well matched to the other cameras. The ultrawide cam looks good in low light for this sort of camera. The dynamic range looks quite good, and the overall processing seems to match the main cameras. Again, you can get even better shadow and highlight rendition via manual night mode, but that comes at the expense of the absolute sharpness, so we can't exactly say that one approach is better than the other. Although the selfie camera hasn't changed, we like it and appreciate the autofocus. The subject is always well exposed, with natural skin tone, excellent colors, wide dynamic range, and plenty of detail to go around. The main cam can do 8K video recording, and all 4 cameras can record videos in 4K at 60 FPS. There's no 4K 120 FPS mode like on the Ultra. 4K clips from the S25 Plus's main camera are very good. They're sharp and detailed, with a wide dynamic range and pleasant colors. The 3x telephoto camera produces detailed and sharp videos, with good dynamic range and great colors. They're also very well matched to the main cameras. The same is valid for the 4K videos from the Ultrawide too. They're very good for this sort of camera, and colors look nice and well matched. The electronic stabilization works great here. It's some of the best around. Footage comes out very smooth. And at night, the main cam's footage has good colors, low noise, and nicely developed shadows, but we didn't see any change here from last year. We did get sharper low-light footage out of the telephoto camera, so that's one improvement there. So there you have it guys, the Galaxy S25 Plus. Samsung has decided to hold back on hardware upgrades for the S25 series, and you basically get a slightly thinner body and the new flagship chipset. At least here with the chipset upgrade, you get a boost in battery life in calls and gaming. We would have liked to see other upgrades here too though, like Gorilla Armor Glass or new cameras. Maybe next year. With all that said though, the Galaxy S25 Plus is a solid flagship phone that's worth considering. Thanks for watching guys. If you're looking for alternative Android flagships with a large screen, you could check out our reviews of the Galaxy S24 Ultra or even the OnePlus 13. Let us know what you think and I'll see you on the next one.